Welcome to the Dream Journal. From the studios of KSQD in Santa Cruz, the Dream Journal is a weekly show where we explore the power of nighttime dreams through conversations with dream experts and with listeners like you.
In the house behind, the life you find is something understood. So there's now those vital minutes.
A dream can be meaningful even if you don't know what it means. And today's music, created fresh for you by Rick Cleffel, is called Precipital. Every night, our dreams invite us to enter the mystery that is our soul, and they guide us toward wholeness, purpose, and destiny. Today, we talk about imaginal dreaming and the power of dream groups with Sara Saidy. I am your host, Catherine Bell of Experiential Dreamwork, and welcome to the Dream Journal. We'll be taking call-ins during the last 30 minutes of the show. You can also email us anytime at onair@ksqd.org. I'm going to just take a moment and share a recent dream I had about being a Vulcan. This is an old theme of mine, of where my intellect is more important than my emotions. And the dream ended where I'm being served a very large piece of steak, and it's not very appetizing, on a very small plate. And I realize I overloaded myself during some of my Festival of Dreams preparations. And so this is a really helpful dream to remind me to pay more attention to my emotions and to beware when my plate is getting over full. So just to share this image, which has been really intense for me in the last couple of days. One of these wake you up in the middle of the night kind of dreams. So valuable. All right, I'd like to say hello to Sara Saidy. Thank you so much for coming on the show all the way from Florence, Italy.
Hello. Thank you for having me.
Great. Wonderful. So let me introduce Sara. Sara Saidy is a Jungian dream practitioner, writer, artist, and a researcher specializing in transpersonal dream studies. She is currently training as a Jungian analyst, and she offers global consultations, workshops, and dream groups to help individuals and groups exchange meaningfully with the imaginal realm through Dreamwork. And she lives, as I mentioned, in Florence, Italy. And you can find out about her work at sarasaidy.com. Sarah's S-A-R-A, Saidy, S-A-I-D-Y.com, sarasaidy.com. So, Sara, glad to have you on the show, and you mentioned you'd like to start with a poem.
Yes. I think when we're talking about dreams, it's helpful to be in a poetic state of mind instead of an intellectual state of mind. And I'm fighting a cold, so I apologize for my voice.
No worries.
Okay, so this poem is by Anthony Theodore, and it's called Do Not Forget Your Dreams. When the night breaks over you and the darkness threatens to capture you again, do not forget the dreams. Not everything is lost. Your dreams and your longings are the pictures of hope in you. Your soul knows that healing lies deep in the depths. Soon a new day will awaken in you. Do not forget your dreams.
That's beautiful. So do not forget your dreams. So here we are. So valuable. So I'd love to just hear a little bit about what got you started in interested in your own dreams and then working with other people's dreams. I wonder if you'd like to spend a few minutes to talk about that.
Sure. So about 10 years ago, one morning I woke up with a pain in my neck. And as time went on, it got worse and worse, and it became a pain that was all over my body. And it started really affecting my life. I couldn't go anywhere. I couldn't tolerate sitting in the car. I had to start working from home. It really affected my life in a negative way, and went to a lot of, doctors and therapies, and nothing worked. So I became really depressed, and I went to see a Jungian analyst. And the first time I saw her, she said to me, something in the psyche is trying to get your attention. And the way to investigate is through your dreams. And she recommended that I join a dream group, which I did. And I started working on my dreams in the dream group. And about 6 months or so after that, I had a very profound dream where the woman who helped raise me was in my dream, and I was lost in a mountain range, and I couldn't find my way out, and I was scared and confused. And she comes over and she shows me the way out, and it was extremely powerful because it helped me understand that I was guided by a force within me, by the soul. And that sort of marked the beginning of my healing journey. And after that, the pain has started to gradually go away. And so this experience was so profound that I decided to leave my career behind and go back to school and study psychology and focus on working with people on dreams.
Wow. Okay. So that's beautiful. And this kind of reminds me of what you're talking about, the imaginal realm. And like, what is the imaginal realm, and how do dreams help us step into that? It sounds like this dream itself was speaking to you in that way.
Yes. So the imaginal realm, our intellectual and technological advances, while they've changed our lives for the better, they have sort of, in that adventure, we have left behind the soul. We have moved upward and outward and have lost the depths, which is where soul resides. We've lost touch with the imaginal realm. So the imaginal realm is an intermediate world between the sensory world and the intelligible world. It's a real place inhabited by real beings. It's where the imagination is alive and active. And it's a genuine experience. It's not something unreal that we make up or manufacture. That is called imaginary. But the imaginal realm is different. It's made up of images and beings that are mostly unconscious to us. So the soul lives in the imaginal, the land of images. It feeds on them. It is moved by them. It is them. And the movements of the soul in the deep imaginal is what gives life depth and meaning. When the soul stops moving, life becomes mechanical and loses its meaning.
But like that sort of Spock image that I had in my opening dream that I shared, that there's some kind of sterility there when we don't bring in the emotions and the imagination.
Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. And, Freud discovered long ago that our neurosis are illnesses of the imagination. He believed that our imagination could make us ill. And Carl Jung also discovered that about a third of his cases were not suffering from a clinically definable neurosis, but from the meaninglessness and emptiness of their lives.
Yes. And certainly that's what I find also with a lot of people who come to me to explore their dreams. And that was the case for me as well, is that it isn't about healing trauma, although that is also part of what happens during this process, but to finding meaningfulness, finding a sense of purpose and meaningfulness. Yes. Mm-hmm.
Yes, because, our ego, the conscious part of us, is an effective instrument in navigating life. We need our ego for that.
Mm-hmm.
But the ego must be connected to the deeper soul.
Right. And so you say you're talking about dreams as one way to make that connection.
Absolutely. Mm-hmm. Dreams, there are many ways to engage the imagination. Paying attention to our dreams, fantasies, daydreams even, visions, those are great ways of engaging the imagination. Reflecting on all the images around us, paying attention to metaphors, symbols, synchronicities, poetry, mythology, engaging with the world in a deep and symbolic way, and looking for meaning in everyday experiences.
Right. That is so valuable, and I hope it's okay to share that we were texting before the show, and you told me that there's a storm approaching where you are right now, and
yes,
and it's like that seems like a very much an archetypal force that's surrounding us in the coming. Even though in Santa Cruz here we're just having a gray day, it's not particularly stormy. There's some sense of that, and that maybe that's why people are reluctant to approach these realms, because often there's a lot of chaos and unpredictability in addressing the images that we would like to just sweep away with our intelligence and pointy-eared Vulcans. that
absolutely.
Engaging in the imaginal realm is risky, or it's scary at least. Yeah.
It's the unknown. It's the mystery, which is, what dreams invite us to do, to sort of stop trying to make sense and enter the mystery that is our soul.
Stop trying to make sense and enter the mystery. I love that. So I want to get to a topic that I know that you're really passionate about, and I am too, which is dream groups. So, we can look at our dreams one-on-one. We can work with a friend or with a counselor about our dreams. But there's something that's really wonderful about groups, and I'd be curious to hear your experience with groups and how you how you feel that this can facilitate that connection with the imaginal realm.
Sure. From my personal experience, I knew that working on dreams in a dream group can be a transformational experience. And so when I was working on my master's degree, I looked into dream groups and learned that considerable research has been done on dreams and dream groups, but I couldn't find any studies that focused specifically on the transformative aspect of dream work in a group setting. So I decided to do the research for my thesis on the transformative potential of unpacking a dream in a group setting. And so I used phenomenology as a framework for my research for the study, because I wanted to study the lived experience of the phenomenon of transformation in a dream group. And so we formed a new dream group with participants who were in several online sessions, and we worked together on dreams. And then the participants were interviewed afterwards to share their lived experience. And the findings that emerged were that being part of a dream group can be a deep and meaningful experience. It can bring about a sense of oneness and interconnectedness that leads to feelings of empathy, love, and compassion.
Wow.
And in essence, dream groups can serve as alchemical containers, and using the transpersonal power of dreams as a catalyst for transformation.
Wow, that explains something why most of my closest friends have grown out of dream groups. at this point.
Absolutely. Same here.
Uh-huh. There's something, even if you don't spend much time talking about your waking life experience, because I like to keep the focus on the dreams themselves. There's just so much richness and empathy that develops in my experience with these groups. And so it's really wonderful to hear that you've been doing the research to show what those who engage in dream groups already know, the value of them.
Absolutely. And we get to know each other. To your point, we get to know each other in a deep and intimate way that through our dreams, that is sort of impossible outside of that setting.
Right, exactly. And there's a way that I get to take on the dreams of other people in my groups, and that they can become part of my own imaginal realm, like in my version of their dream. It's never going to be exactly what they dreamed.
Absolutely. And we're all connected through our dreams.
Exactly. Yeah, I like the phrase you use, alchemical containers. There is something about the crucible of dream groups, in my experience, is something where change can really occur, and especially if you've been meeting with the same people for any amount of time, to months to years, then you can often see evolution in others, and see evolution in yourself as you see yourself reflected back through the changing of your own dreams.
Yes, completely. And the dream groups, like the dream group that I've been a part of it for 10 years, and the group was formed 20 years ago, and most of the original members are still there. The dream groups that I facilitate have been going on for several years. It's just that close connection and bond that we form with each other, and it becomes a source of healing and support.
I wonder if you have any practical suggestions of how people can maximize this transformative potential in their own groups, because there's some, I'm just curious, what are some of your basic guidelines, if you formulate them? I know you're mostly on the research side, but you're also in your own groups, and so I wonder if you have any particular advice for people who want to form their own groups, or maybe are already in groups.
Well, I think just the act of sharing a dream can be very nurturing and healing. And when we all have blind spots about our own, ourselves. So when we're in a group, everybody else can see things about us that we may not see. So paying attention to and being open to what the group is offering to you, I think, is extremely important. And, challenges, of course, come up in the group, but in my experience, there's often so much love and bonding that those challenges can be overcome.
Right. Well, there's personalities. I mean, there's a way that Dreamwork is not explicitly therapeutic, but there is like an element where people's personalities can show up in dream groups in a way that can be helpful, or can also be somewhat disruptive sometimes. And sometimes dream groups need to change, or the person's approach needs to shift to some degree, and that there is something very relational about a dream group, because you have the images and the dreams that you're working, but you also have these waking people who are in the groups.
Absolutely. And, as Jung said, when you're meeting or encountering someone, you're encountering their conscious personality, but you're also encountering their unconscious personality. And same is true for you. So it's like two conscious egos talking to each other, but also their unconscious are talking to each other. So being aware of that, I think, is extremely important. And going back to your questions about some practices, something that we do in the dream group that I'm a part of, every once in a while, every few years or so, or when things get a little, challenging, we take a session and we put each person sort of on the pedestal, and we each go around and tell that person what we appreciate about them.
Wow.
And it's an incredibly powerful exercise for everyone, but particularly for the person who's hearing, what the group members appreciate about them. And it's very bonding.
Wow, that's very vulnerable too. Wow. Okay. Now that sounds very explicitly therapeutic. That there's something there that is, stepping away from the imaginal realm. But I think it sounds very, very valuable.
Yes.
I've
in my experience.
I must say, Sarah, thank you. I have to share that I had a little bit of that experience, or still am having that, around this conference that I put on a couple weeks ago, and that I've had so many people tell me tremendous appreciation for my work, and it's like I've had to really work to let it in, to absorb it, because it can be hard to take in appreciation. We're so used to minimizing ourselves. And so that sounds like a powerful practice that you're suggesting.
Yes, it literally feels like being showered by love.
Well, that's something that most of us are not that familiar with.
No, we're not.
So let me say, Sara Saidy, you are a Jungian. I understand that you are training to be an analyst right now, and you are a Jungian practitioner. And I wonder, are there any, I don't have a lot of Jungians on the show. I don't really know why. It seems like I'd like to have more. And so I'd like to see, how does that inform some of your practices? I mean, I think some of the conversation about the imaginal realm is probably explicitly Jungian, but are there other approaches that you've found that you do differently than other dream practitioners that you know?
Well, yeah, I mean, as you know, there are many, many different approaches to dream work and dreaming.
Right.
And, some new research suggests that we should really focus on dreaming, not necessarily dreams and what the dreams mean. But the Jungian approach is different in the sense that the beings that show up in our dreams, the figures that show up, it could also be animals, people, even sometimes objects, like the ocean, for example. Those beings are all parts of our unconscious. And so we dialogue with those beings, and in this way we're engaging the imaginal realm, and we're engaging our own unconscious and the collective unconscious. And it can be very insightful. Insights that these beings can offer to us is incredibly valuable.
Yeah, your mention of the collective unconscious is very interesting, because it's something that I'm definitely aware of, but I don't often think a lot about that when I hear somebody's dream. As like, how does this relate to the collective? I certainly can relate to the degree that the images in people's dreams, when I hear someone share a dream, is like, oh yeah, I have that one too, or like I can really relate to that phenomenon. I can see how it fits into my psyche, but to see how it is applying to, the collective, the spirit of the times, perhaps, and the cultural norms of the time, is something I don't usually think that much about.
Well, there are times that it becomes evident that there's something that's going on in the collective. There's something that's very active and alive and present in the collective unconscious. For example, during the pandemic, a lot of people were having death dreams. And it could have been death dreams from, a car accident or something, not necessarily COVID. But because fear of death was so alive in the unconscious, in the collective, it showed up in dreams.
I know there's been a lot of research into COVID dreams, and books written about the themes that were more prominent during the pandemic than before or after. And so, as you say, death dreams they're interesting. I could do a whole show in its own right about death dreams, that they're so
Mm-hmm.
powerful, and it's something one of those dreams we always hope is not precognitive, right? and yet often they are often very valuable dreams, in that they have to do with transformation and letting go of parts of ourselves that we no longer need, and there's a lot of levels where death dreams can be very metaphorical. But during the COVID pandemic, there was a lot of literal dying going on. I was thinking of those intense weeks when New York City was having, thousands of deaths a day just in that one city alone.
Yeah.
And there was some really horrific things going on. I know all over the world, and I'm sure in Italy too, where you are, there was a lot. And so there's
Yeah.
there's a way that dreams can be simultaneously literal and metaphorical and symbolic all at the same time, and which is one of the things that makes dreams so powerful, but also confusing.
Yes, and fascinating,
Mm-hmm.
because you can look at a dream from so many different angles. And, the depth of a dream image is truly fathomless.
Mm-hmm.
You can continue going down deeper and deeper and deeper and gain more and more insights. So I think it's extremely important to keep the dreams alive and continue working with them, and never think that the work on the dream is done. That I've received the message and I know the meaning and I'm done and I'm going to put it aside.
Mm-hmm. I'm constantly amazed at how going back to a particular dream uncovers new insights that are just as powerful as the ones I've had already. And that, yeah, I think you're right, that even have childhood dreams that I've looked at over the years in multiple different ways, and getting more insights out of them every time I look at them.
Yes, and looking at patterns and themes that emerge and keep repeating themselves. You have to go back to your previous dreams to be able to recognize those patterns and themes.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Right, patterns and themes, and the evolving of patterns and themes is a wonderful way to track one's own dreams, and also to track them in a way that's not overly analytical. Because I have this theme of Burning Man dreams. I have had yet another one last night. I don't know, a couple times a month I dream about Burning Man, and I don't know what the theme means, but it's something. I went twice, but this was now about 15 years ago, and so it's and yet the theme remains, and so I don't have a meaning for that. But somehow these dreams are always like, oh, check, there's another Burning Man dream, and so I get to have the symbol and have the just the essence of it without knowing what it means. It just gets to be a part of who I am.
Yes, and just to be with it,
Yeah.
know.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, that image of Burning Man, burning in the fire of transformation. I think that's such a powerful image.
Uh-huh. It is talk about death. They burn this giant wooden effigy every year, and there's a lot of about letting go of the old there.
Absolutely, yes.
So this is wonderful talking to you. This is Sara Saidy from Florence, Italy. We're talking about dream groups and the imaginal realm and transformative potential of dream groups. And Sara Saidy can be found at her webpage, sarasaidy.com, sarasaidy.com. And we're going to take a short break. I'm going to let you know that we are broadcast live from the KSQD studios in Santa Cruz and co-broadcast live in San Jose by KCXU and podcast everywhere. We will be right back. You are listening to the Dream Journal, and I am Catherine Bell of Experiential Dreamwork. I'd like to send out a special welcome to our copious far-flung listeners today. We have the airwaves flooded all over California, up to Visalia, Canyon County, Los Angeles, Rialto, San Bernardino. And then we have Sedona, Arizona, British Columbia, Ontario, Pennsylvania, Quebec, New York, Great Britain, and then we have East Flanders, Belgium, we have Hungary, and we have Italy. So this is a truly international show today. Just goes to show that people all over the world are indeed interested in their dreams. If you want to nudge the algorithm to help spread interest in dreaming, please follow the Dream Journal on your favorite podcast app and consider leaving a rating or a review. This really does help spread interest in dreaming. But most importantly, I would love it for you to tell your friends about this podcast, or really any excuse to talk to them about dreaming, because talking about dreaming, as we're saying in this podcast, is one of the best ways to deepen that work that they're doing for us every night. You can go to Facebook and Instagram to find out about upcoming shows and pod drops by following hashtag The Dream Journal and at Experiential Dreamwork. Also, please contact me if you'd like to be a guest on the show to talk about a new book or to let folks know about your dream-related offerings. Next week, tune in to meet Jesse Lyon, who is a clinical hypnotherapist with an extensive background in trauma, anxiety, dissociative disorders, and neurodivergence. He's also a viral social media influencer with 2.5 million TikTok followers. So tune in next week for Jesse Lyon. Before we get back to Sara Saidy, I'd like to tell you about a class called Social Justice Dreaming, which teaches how to weave together dreaming and intuitive skills and to apply them to activist practices to keep you from descending into despair. Starts November 7th. There'll be 3 live events as well as online forums and weekly journaling prompts. Check it out at katrinadreamer.com/SJD. So as I said, we do have Sara Saidy as our guest today, and we have some callers already. So let's see. Let me say hi to Sylvia first. Hello, Sylvia. Where are you calling from?
Hi, I'm calling from Ontario.
Oh, Sylvia. Sylvia, I know you. Great.
Yeah,
Thanks for calling in. Okay. So
I have something I'd like to ask Sadie.
yes.
Or Sarah.
Yeah.
Hi, Sarah.
Hi, Sylvia.
I was wondering if in your master's degree or your thesis or whatever, if you have done any study about the co-creating of healing when a person is in treatment. I use my images from my dreams to help co-create my healing, and it felt very powerful. I had some wonderful images to use. In some cases, it was for comfort, like bringing in one of my animals and into my imagination, into my just with me when I was in radiation treatment.
Oh boy. Yeah.
But also there were other images where inside my body, I was using the images from my dream to help activate the good cells and releasing with loving intention the ones that I wanted to be gone, that I wanted to release, but always with love. And I just wondered if any of that in your group is done, or if you did any research, part of your research about the co-creation of healing using dream images.
I didn't do the focus of the research wasn't on that.
Okay.
But I do know that there has been a lot of work done in that area, especially Marianne Whitman did a lot of work in that area. And, her belief was that the goal is to integrate the body and the psyche. And the way you do that is you take the healing symbols from the dreams and you put them into the areas of the body and that need healing, and you allow their energy to accomplish the healing work, which is, exactly what you're doing. And I believe one of the challenges or dangers of dream work is that we imagine we've done our work when we think we understand the dream, and we become fascinated by the interpretation. But if we don't contemplate on the symbols and we don't use their energy, the healing power is lost. So, I think what you're doing is amazing, and a lot of work has been done in that area that reveals that healing can be accomplished in this way.
I love that caution, Sarah, that just because you have found some meanings out of a dream, that it's not to dismiss the dream, and not even like to trust that the dream has its own level that is healing us out, which we are never going to understand.
Oh, definitely.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes, and when you look at a dream for the first time, I, at least, and I'm sure you have experienced this too, Catherine, and other people, that a feeling of, you're approaching something that's completely unknown, and it feels kind of confusing, and you don't know where to begin, how to get inside of it. It's a feeling of, I don't know, you're approaching as Jung called it, the numinous.
Absolutely. I mean, I think that's valuable to really cultivate that kind of beginner's mind. I mean, every time I hear a dream, I have a moment of panic, like, oh no, I don't know what this means. And then I started to realize, oh, that's a good thing, actually.
Yes, very good thing.
Because we want to be wise and say something meaningful, but the dream is its own thing. It doesn't need meaning. My main role is just to keep the dreamer thinking about the dream and basking in the dream as long as possible, so the dream can do its work. That's how I see it.
Yes,
I go
and
back
I don't know.
I go back to my dreams all the time. Yeah, I agree. I totally agree with you there.
Well, Sylvia, thank you. This is fabulous.
Thank you, Catherine.
All right, nice to hear from you. Take care.
Okay, you too.
All right.
Bye.
Bye. So we have a second caller who's on the line as well. I believe Martha. Would you like to say hello?
Yes, hi.
Hi, where are you calling from?
Los Angeles.
Oh, thanks for giving us a call. What can we do for you today?
I have kind of two questions that I think are related, and they are there certain types of dreams that are worth paying more serious attention to? And also, what if you keep having the same character or the same individual showing up in your dream repeatedly?
Good questions. Go ahead, Sarah. What do you think? So there's two questions. One is what kinds of dreams to pay attention to, and what about recurring characters or themes?
Yes. Hi, Martha. As far as what kinds of dreams, I think all dreams are valuable, and even dreams that we don't remember much of, even a fragment of a dream can be very valuable, and profound insights can come from, contemplating that little fragment. But there are dreams that, when you wake up, it was a profound dream. The energy, and it stays with you. It stays with you sometimes all day, all week. It's alive in you, in your psyche, in your consciousness. And those are, particularly profound and meaningful.
So kind of trust your intuition about that. The ones that are, if you have the sense of meaningfulness, is that what you're saying?
Yes. And, energy, it comes with energy, with a lot of energy behind it.
Or even a year or longer?
I'm sorry. Say that again?
Stay with you a
Please.
year. It could stay with you even longer than just a few, like even years?
Sure.
Yes, or decades.
Yeah.
I mean, I have childhood dreams that I still remember.
Yeah.
And I remember the feeling of the dream.
Yeah.
Right. Well, I think it wasn't Carl Jung who said that the big dreams are the ones that we don't even need to write down, that we just remember. And it's certainly, like when I was a little child, I was not writing any dreams down, but I remember some of those as well. And so those are certainly count as big dreams because they're with me all these years later, and there is some kind of energy with them that is compelling.
Yes, and dreams work on us whether we work on them or not. They're working on us.
Like that.
You know?
But those ones that come with extra energy, we could pay some extra attention to. That's what it sounds
Absolutely.
like. Okay.
Yes.
And then what about the second question? Oh, go ahead.
Is that also is it similar that why you might have a repeated individual or a repeated character in your dreams? Is that also because it's a significant message, or?
Yes, and I think that the psyche keeps repeating the message until you get it. So if something is repeating, that means there's more to understand. There's more insights.
Mm-hmm.
Well, thank you.
Thanks for calling, Martha.
Thank you.
Sure.
Excellent. So, Sarah, in our last 10 minutes or so, I'm wondering if you would touch in a little bit about what the process of training to be a Jungian analyst is all about. I know that you're involved in that. That's what I understand. And if that's something that you're comfortable discussing, I'm just curious what is involved with that. I imagine it's your own work. You do a lot of your own therapy, I'm sure, classes and things like that.
Yes, I mean I'm just beginning, so my information is limited. But it's a very intense and immersive process and a transformative process, which is really why I wanted to do it, because I wanted to go through this process and, you come out at the other end changed. But as far as what it involves, obviously a lot of the, theories and studying Jung's work, but a lot of dream work, and then you have to work with a Jungian analyst. You have to be an analyst yourself and do a significant amount of hours with an analyst. And then you will, similar to becoming a therapist, then you will have to work supervised with, other people and work with them for a certain number of hours.
Right. And so I'm curious how this connects with your previous research into dream groups, because I didn't know that is Jungian analysis particularly group oriented, or are there some practitioners who use groups and even in the Jungian framework? I'm curious how you're going to integrate your previous research on dream groups with your new studies.
Yes, very much so. There are a lot of Jungian, specifically Jungian dream groups that use Jung's, way of working with dreams. And I do the same. I do, in my dream groups, I use a lot of Jungian concepts and ideas and ways of working with dreams, particularly active imagination, which is, basically dialoguing with those figures that show up in our dreams. And, people find it extremely powerful because a lot of Jung's work was focused on the specific images from the dreams, not so much the story. Dreams are not really stories. Dreams are images.
Oh, I'd never thought of it that way. It's not about the stories, it's the images. Huh.
Yes, and you can take the individual symbols from the dreams and just work on those, forget about the so-called plotline of the dream and just focus on the, that I do that a lot of times, especially with my own dreams. I just pick out the symbols that I can identify and I work with those. And then I sort of, at the end, I put it back together and see how does it fit with the story that the dream is telling, or the meaning, the message that the dream is conveying.
Okay, I had never thought of it that way, because the plot often seems to have something to do with my feelings in the dream, but not necessarily. Not necessarily. So that's interesting. So really focusing on the figures that show up and the images, like maybe particular people or animals or landscapes, even. So taking them as images.
Yes, yes, and working with them and really engaging the individual elements.
Right, using the active imagination to have this dialogue with them.
Yes.
And that could be done either out loud with somebody or in a journal, I imagine.
Yes, in a journal, I think it's very effective. Or even I do it on the computer because, my hand starts to hurt after a while.
Exactly. Yeah, typing is so much quicker. Yeah. Okay. And do you then do a kind of a Gestalt approach as well of like taking the part of these different characters, or do you treat the images and the characters as outside of yourself?
No, they are parts of you.
Okay.
They're all parts of you.
So you can take
they're-
the role of them as part of your conversation?
You can, yes, absolutely.
Okay.
But, different, like when a figure shows up in a dream, whether it's somebody that you know or somebody unknown, there's still parts of you. The unknown is the shadow parts, the parts of you that you don't, you're not aware of. And then the known figures are parts of you that you might be more conscious of.
Right. I often think of that the dream self in a dream, the dream, the point of view of the dreamer is what I'm most familiar with. Like this is like closest to my waking consciousness. And that these other characters are more alien or parts of my consciousness that I'm less familiar with.
Exactly,
Okay.
exactly. And, I think what's amazing about the dreams is that they're kind of like mirrors. They show us the condition of our soul. And they reveal the ego from the other side.
The condition of our soul. Uh-huh.
Yes, I often ask when I work with dreamers, I often ask them, what do you think this dream is revealing about the condition of your soul? Because dreams are not commenting about your job or, your financial status or, your everyday world. Dreams are, messages, or as Jung said, they're guiding words of the soul.
Interesting. Okay. Yeah, I'm just
Or
thinking.
I call them
Go ahead.
love letters from the soul.
Oh, love letters from the soul. That's beautiful. Okay. Well, what else do you have that you would like to address? I love that concept of love letters from the soul. I just want to pause on that for a moment. But we have a few minutes left, Sara, and I'm wondering if you have any topics that we haven't touched on yet, or is there a question you wish I'd asked that you'd like to answer?
Not really, but I mean, you asked a lot of great questions,
Thanks.
but I like to emphasize again that, really the power of dream groups, because they offer an opportunity to gather individuals and create a sense of community. And by engaging in this process, we embark on a collective dream journey, and we gain insights into our interconnectedness, and we realize that our struggles and fears and aspirations are not exclusive to us alone, but they're shared by others, and this can be very healing and empowering and transformational.
That's really beautiful. So
And my hope is that in doing these exercises and really engaging our dreams and the imagination, whether it's on our own or in a group, as we heal and grow, we can hopefully contribute to the healing of our fragmented world and collectively rise above our divisions and towards a more harmonious and more compassionate world.
agree with that. Excellent. Thank you. Indeed. Thank you. Sara Saidy, SaraSaidy, and that is indeed your webpage as well, sarasaidy.com. If that's the best place for people to get in touch with you?
Yes.
Okay. So thank you so much.
Thank you. Thank you, partner. This was a lot of fun.
Okay. All right. Take care.
All right. You too. Thank you.
Bye. All right. Thank you all for listening. The Dream Journal is produced at the studios of KSQD in Santa Cruz, and we are live every Saturday at 10 a.m. Pacific at ksqd.org. The podcast is released on the Monday after the show. It spreads interest in dreaming when you subscribe, rate, and review. I am Catherine Bell. You can find out about my dream coaching practice at experientialdreamwork.com. You can email me at catherine@ksqd.org. That's KATHERINE at ksqd.org. Follow Experiential Dreamwork and hashtag the Dream Journal on Facebook, Instagram, and LinkedIn to keep up with the shows. I'd like to thank Rick Cluffel, engineer and music creator, audio editing by Suki Wessling, phones by Eric Nelson, and intro and outro pieces are both by Mood Science. Tomorrow morning when you wake up, take a minute to write down your dream and bring it to the next Dream Journal.
There's a time in our lives all the husbands and wives, all the boys and the girls, and everyone in the world knows that so much is wrong, but much more is right. We see in the darkness by shining a light. And you are everything. Yes, you and pay forward each day to say what I feel and push darkness